All right, welcome to Jack Dotson's Racing Insider News this week, presented by Gen X Motorsports. I was going to say Gen X Racing. What pizza we got, Jack?
Papa John's.
Okay.
I know what you're trying to start. Don't do that.
All right, let's thank our marketing partners. Isn't that the proper term we're supposed to use now? Marketing partners?
Yes, sir.
Oh, let's see. Well, Gen X. I think Greer and Associates come on last week. Safety Clean, Performance Plus Motor Oil. Got to thank Chuck for the emergency call from Langley Speedway. Jack got stuck in the elevator today. That's why the elevator ain't working. That's why you had to take the stairs.
Yeah, I sure did.
Even park the elevator.
Yeah.
You gonna start that, are you?
That was a good one, Mace. Bonnert's Brothers Distillery. I think Mayhem Management. MPM Marketing. Tanya McAllister. Black Acid Racing Apparel if you need a shirt. Gen X Motorsports. Slinger Speed.
Charter double. It's done twice.
VA 811, call before you dig. Factory Canopies and Fluid Logic. Papa John's for providing dinner every night. And GAC, Great American Company. Guillermo Amaya.
Guillermo.
Yeah. Well, that sounded like what I said.
No, it wasn't close to what you said.
Now, you and I made a G sign. Guillermo.
Eddie Clark, we're still waiting on our barbecue, Eddie.
Yeah, well, tell me, but it's been what, 2-3 weeks you've been promising it?
I know, right?
All right, let's look at some news from this week, whatever. How about the new NASCAR rules that came out today?
That was a shock. Did you see that? I didn't, come on, man.
I
didn't
do not
see that coming.
Well, I think some people are complaining
coming.
about it, but
you had to see it coming.
I think it's stupid.
Well, some of it, I don't see rain tires at a circle at a oval. Of course, you can't do it at Bristol, and you can't do it at Dover.
No.
So that's out of the question. What do you think about that? You're going to be doing some of that.
I think the problem is we're probably going to have to buy a set of rain tires, even if it's sunny at Martinsville for the truck. So it's extra expense that really isn't necessary. We got to put mud flaps on. We got to put brake lights on. So it's definitely a little bit more there. And I'm not necessarily against it. I just wish we didn't have the extra expense of the extra set of tires that you're more than likely not going to use.
What all do they have to have when they go to the race? You just named a few things. Got to have a windshield wiper on there.
Yeah, windshield wiper, mud flaps, and then 2 brake lights.
That is a little bit more of an expense than you have to go out and buy the tires too. That's
Well, the tires are probably the most expensive.
yeah.
Are they the same price as a normal set?
I'm sure they are. I haven't ever priced rain tires.
Yeah. Well, I figured they'd probably be more.
And Ross Chastain's move at Martinsville is no longer allowed.
Yeah, well, that's what I was like.
That's
I
a
think it's
bad
crazy.
move.
It's deterred. It's not banned.
Well, MBM put out it was banned. But, it's a penalty if you do it. And I don't understand. That's another thing I don't understand.
No, not at all.
I mean, if the guy wants to tear his car all to pieces and run it around like that, it paid off for him.
Who would have ever thought? Did that ever crossed your mind? Until I seen it, I'm like, he got a flat tire. What the hell's going on?
That was insane.
I heard, I've listened to a couple shows that some spotters were on. They said they never even expected this to happen, and he just come on around past everybody and got into the
They
playoffs.
said it was like 4 seconds faster or 3 seconds faster than everybody else.
Unbelievable. No more stage racing on road courses. Not going to do that anymore.
No more breaks.
Well,
They will still have the stage. They will still award points. They don't stop the race and do a caution for it, which is what they should do everywhere.
okay. I didn't get it that way, but that's
No, that's why it's only a road course. There's no more stage breaks.
Now you know why we have Mason here. He's
Yeah.
he's our fact checker.
I know I wrote was a headline in one tweet.
The choice rule is going to be up for Daytona and Talladega now. They didn't do it before. They will do the choose rule, and longer restart lines for all three divisions. From what I understand, all three of them are going to get longer restart.
I mean, I like that. I don't know about you. I'm curious of what your opinion is. I think, when you're leading a race or and you have this short box, it's hard to try to get an advantage on the guy behind you.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I think it makes it difficult because they can anticipate it where you can't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to that at all. I think that's probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and also it was announced today that Brad Keselowski is going to run the full SRX series. That's going to be interesting to see him do that.
And
Haley Deegan
and
Ryan Newman, Bobby
there
Labonte.
you go. Jesus Christ, come on.
They ran it last year. I was thinking the headline from Brad Keselowski is going to run it.
Why is that headline? He ain't won a race in 5 years.
It's a headline because he's going to the SRX series. Okay, that's a head. Who invited him? Nobody.
He just
Anyway.
shows up.
How about Jamie Jones got a job with Rev Racing? Is going to be looking over their Arca program. I thought that was a pretty big deal.
Mhm.
We hadn't talked
Local
to Jamie
guy.
in a while. Hadn't talked to him in a while. I think it's a good thing. Down at Chris Motorsports Park this past weekend, they had the big races down there for super late models, pro late models. I think the modifieds ran down there too. Then the modified
Outlaws.
Outlaws. That's what it. Well,
Run by an old name that you would probably remember. Chad Chaffin.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't get that one. I thought, never mind. In the
You
pro
want to take
late,
this part over, Mason?
he might as well. Hell, he's done more than I am.
All I did was watch the race. I didn't even watch the Outlaws.
In the pro late model, Augie Grill got the win. Caden Quapple finished second. Michael Hindy finished third. And in the super late models, some cat named Bubba Pollard got the win. Corey Himes second. Jake Garcia was third. And Casey Roderick was fourth. Out at Caraway, they had a race at Caraway this past weekend.
Oh, the fight.
And the fight was huge. I mean, that was pretty big deal. I kept looking for you in there.
I don't fight.
Okay.
Ain't no
He
reason to.
He just starts it.
No.
Jason York came away with the win in that one. Also, want to announce that Dave Millard's golf tournament, a benefit for Dave, is May the 12th, 2023. It's $70 per man. 9 o'clock is registration, and a shotgun starts at 10 o'clock. So everybody kind of turn out and support Dave Millard in that endeavor there. And we got Justin Carroll. I think the last couple times we've had you on the show, we had to call you and talk to you about phone or something. So it's amazing we got you here today. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. I'm sorry Mason's here.
I mean, if he's going to drive all this way, you better make it worthwhile.
He only come because you were coming.
That's right. I'm sure.
He said he'd talk trash to you, but anyway. So what we got going on for 2023 this year? I mean, I know you got a whole bunch of things you want to get done, so let's see what you got going on.
I mean, we've been real busy this off season. I can possibly run the whole schedule at Langley. It's still 6 or 7 truck races. So the truck races I want to run or don't interfere with that. Handful of ARCA races, and I'm hoping to run the full year at Langley, but we'll see.
So what truck races are you got planned?
Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, Richmond, Bristol, Nashville, probably IRP, and then Gateway.
Yeah, I'd love to go out there for the Gateway race. I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I like
It's a nice place.
yeah, it's a nice track.
So, I mean, last year I noticed on a couple of occasions, or maybe just one occasion, maybe that was just the one I was here, but you were somewhere trying to get in the truck race, and next thing I know, you were pulling in the gate here at Langley. I said, damn, he's right back
I think
here.
that was Bristol.
he's right back here again. That's
Bristol's Thursday night, and we have a late model race here Saturday, and then Nashville's Friday night, and we have a late model race here Saturday. So I can make it. I've done it before, and we'll do it again.
how
And
do
you come in,
prepare
you were
for that?
driving the hauler too, I think, when you came in.
Yeah, I drive the rig everywhere. So
How do you prepare for that? I mean, I know you got your late miles probably already done, but I mean, coming back, having to make the switch over and come on out here, that's
Or do you have it in the hauler?
no, the last times I've actually stopped by the shop and grabbed them. If my dad wasn't racing, I'd put it in the hauler and just come straight here. We might have to do that for Nashville because it's going to be a little bit tight on time, but we'll do what we got to do.
How many guys you got helping you?
Help? Yeah.
Define that.
Yeah, there's pretty much, I pretty much work on all my own stuff. I got one guy that comes up on a Wednesday night and helps me on Saturdays, and then I got a part-time guy that'll help me in the summer. Other than that, it's pretty much it. I got my marketing guy over here, Arnold.
So he needs to do some work.
Oh, he looks out for me. He'll talk it up for sure. And,
We're gonna have some big names at Langley this year
yeah,
that you've never seen the likes of.
Is there?
Yes, sir. Sponsorship.
cool.
Mhm.
Never been in here before.
That's a beautiful thing.
We're getting them. We're gonna have some decals on the car
yes,
and on
sir.
the truck.
Is it written in stone yet? Or are we close?
Couple mixed drinks Saturday night coming.
I like how he thinks.
They're coming.
Uh,
They're coming.
Good deal.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we got to get Carroll's Automotive off the car. Don't sponsor your own self.
Yeah, I don't do real well.
No,
That's
yeah,
coming off the car. Look, there ain't enough room for what we got now.
Wow.
But when you do get that penciled in, come on, maybe invite them and We
That's Justin asked me to come down here for tonight. So yeah,
no, use us and
we
abuse us.
need to get this place livened up again. Everybody else, you're running your own sponsorship. Need to get other people spending money in this area.
No, I completely agree.
I mean,
You have to get a return on your investment, and
Yeah, we got some good people coming aboard. So
it
I'm
sounds
talking
exciting.
about national sponsorship,
That's great.
nothing local, national.
That's great.
Oh, you didn't hit the big time. Don't forget about us when you get big time now.
Well, that's what we're going for.
No, I know that, but I'm just.
I went with him last year, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but he, I met Justin, and I've been coming down here all my life. Been a NASCAR fan all my life, but I come down here with him. I said, "Hey, little boy's got a good shoe on him. He can drive." And he told me he drove a truck. I kind of, I met him in my neighborhood. So he invited me up to the truck race, and I'm late getting up there. And
First timer.
we sponsored a truck. I had to work. The company I work for, we give him some sponsorship, and a friend of mine, and I got them on the phone. I said, he's on pit road, get ready to go practice. And before I could get over there to tell him good luck, you don't mind if I tell this, Dave?
Go ahead.
He rides around the bottom. I told my guy, I said, man, I'm sorry, the bad connection, I hung up. Because he was just moping around the apron of the track. I said, what a waste of effing money. I said, what a waste of money. But the next 2 laps he come around, he was with Matt Crafton. And then he passed him going in the corner in practice. I said, damn, he can drive. So, but it was a funny story.
Oh, yeah,
Funny,
I love it.
She went, what happened? I wanted some pictures. But it was pretty cool to see.
He
him,
was
you know.
so fast, I couldn't get my phone
Yeah.
focused in fast
Yeah,
enough.
he was moping around the bottom of the track. I said, what a waste of money. I said, damn. So,
I mean, this has got to be cool for you. I mean, with everything y'all got going on with Terry Carroll Racing or Carroll's Racing or whatever it is, y'all got a lot going on over there. Your dad races, you race, and you trying to do trucks and everything. And I know it was really hard to get started in the truck series last year and getting all that done. So what kind of things are you doing different this year to be prepared for it?
I mean, we got one newer truck. We got 2 trucks now. So we're making one an intermediate truck. The truck I ran last year was an older truck. We took it to Kyle Busch Motorsports, got a front clip. Talked to Paul Andrews some over there, and I think we're going to get some pull down help there for each race. So, I mean, we're going in the right direction. We got body updates. We were behind on bodies last year. We got both trucks getting body updates. So, I mean, I learned a lot. Each truck race I went to, I was actually closer to making the field. The last 2 or 3, I was qualified in, got bumped out due to owners' points. So, I mean, I think I'm setting it up myself, and it's tricky. Totally different than late model, but I think we're going to be on the right track.
So how many of the ARCA races are you planning on running as far as is that the East race that you're going to run, or are you going to run the big series?
I mean, as of right now, probably 2 or 3. I'll probably do Dover and Bristol for sure, and then I'll probably do Charlotte.
Yeah, that's pretty good deal there to be able to do those races.
Yeah, I mean, I love Bristol, and Dover's a blast too, but I need some more 1.5 mile experience. So.
Yeah, how much more of that you got to do before you can qualify to go to the next level, or are you already qualified?
So truck, I mean, I tried to get in Nashville last year, which is 1.3 miles. Arca, I'm good for Michigan on down, which is 2 miles. We talked about going to the Arca test, but I mean, really, if we're not going to race, I don't see that as being a necessity right now.
Yeah.
So the trucks, I need to run 1.5 miles, and then I'll be approved to move on up even further. But I mean, we're focusing on 1.5 miles on down. I'd prefer to run short track stuff anyways. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the schedule was better in the beginning of the truck series. It was a more smaller local venues kind of, but I guess it's like everything else. It grows in popularity and goes to all the big tracks, or bigger tracks, I should say.
Well, I mean, I think they're kind of going back a little bit in some of the races to bring some of the smaller tracks back. And I think that'll be a benefit a lot of the guys, and probably you.
For like Justin trying to get in, because you know some of the racetracks, you had gone to like Orange County where they used to run, or South Boston. You had some experience that could help you in those races.
I know you're looking forward to Wilkesboro. I mean, that's got to be a highlight coming up.
Yeah, so I've never raced there, but there is that Cars Tour race. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday night before, so I'm planning on doing that and then going back for the truck race, so I get some seat time there. So I'm real excited for my late model stuff too. I got a brand new car that's 100% brand new. Never had that, and it's a Forrest Reynolds chassis. So I mean, he's built it from ground up. I haven't even got it in my shop yet. So it's I think it's going to be a good piece. And my Langley car, I'm doing some updates on that. So I think we'll be right on time.
So do you have a plan of? I guess it's still kind of early to doing more truck stuff and maybe less local Langley Speedway stuff.
I mean, honestly, my dad would love that.
Oh, really?
He would rather me travel around late model race and then just run trucks. But I mean, Langley's so easy. We're so busy at work, and I'm running the shop, and it's just
Well, y'all got 3 shops, right?
We had 3. Now we're condensed down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
And just focusing on that. It's hard to get enough help for that. So, but we're definitely really busy, and I mean the truck stuff. I'd like to grow into that more, but it's going to take some time.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I need more help for that, honestly.
Yeah. Now, I'm sorry. What was your name? Arnold.
Yes,
So
sir.
what's it like having him come on in? Is this his first year kind of helping you doing some marketing stuff?
He helped me some last year, and he's a salesman by trade. So
I could tell.
He's. I mean, I'm not the type to ever go ask anybody for anything.
Right.
I mean, I've never really had sponsorship that often. I've never asked. I've always done it all myself, and I'm not going to ask anybody for anything. And Arnold, he's been a big help of helping me change my mindset, because if anything, as I'm moving up, I got to have money. So.
Marketing partners.
Yep. Marketing partners.
He told me if I done good this year, I got a headset.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. If he
with
does,
no mic.
Yeah.
No mic.
If he does good, I'll get him a headset. Nah, he's definitely been a big help and a good friend of mine. So it's been nice to meet him. So.
Yeah. So what have you learned from that side of it?
Basically not to be afraid to talk to anybody. I mean, I'm always quiet. I just hang to myself, and he's outgoing. He talks to everybody, and I mean, we normally go to dinner a lot of Saturday nights, and He'll talk to people at the restaurant. And he's always looking, so
Mhm.
it definitely helps.
Yeah. And I think too, I mean, it is your personality. You're kind of reserved or to yourself, but you have to be that person to talk because, when you have a young kid like that, it comes along and just saying something to him, it doesn't mean, you don't think to you and I it may not mean anything, but to him, it means a lot,
For sure.
and it just takes one impression like that.
Well, I used to work on the water. I used to crab. I used to scowl. I worked hard for a living at one time.
Did you work for Bill Mullis?
No, sir. I've known him all my life.
Was there?
But one of the things I respect him, I go to work every morning. He's gone. When I come home, he's not home. He's still at work.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting his hands dirty. And I just think, and I'm not saying it because I'm sitting here. I'll tell anybody, and all them guys that come down here and race, somebody step up to the plate. I mean, this whole world is full of singers, but just a few are chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few race car drivers that will never get in the spotlight.
100%.
If we don't do, and I'm gonna help him. I'm gonna do what I can is try to help him get to that next level. You know what I mean? You got to speak up for somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, because he deserves it. I mean, anybody come. I mean, them Edwards guys. I mean, they all these years, they had the talent
Mm-hmm.
to go on. But and Tommy Ellis, I remember as a kid watching him race down here. And then he got there, but he run his mouth too much to run his mouth. Yeah, Justin, if he gets in there, you ain't got to worry about with him. He needs to stay there.
And let's talk about Justin for a second. The fact that what he was saying earlier, he's more reserved than a lot.
Yeah.
How do you go about selling that to a potential marketing partner?
Just be honest.
Just say, look, hey, this is what he is, and
Well, when you watch him work on his car, I watched Philip Morris down here. He had the same mindset that man had. Philip Morris was one of the best ever come here, am I right?
yeah.
Come on up, yeah.
I see him get underneath his tires and stuff. Some of them get out, go stand by the toolbox. That man's working on his stuff. So when you're looking to put your name on something that a good ambassador for you, he's working on his car. He's good to the community. He's a good person. He's a damn good race car driver. So I'm just honest with him. I've been down here and watched him. Now, if he told me he was a good driver and I didn't see him, I wouldn't have nothing to go on. But, to come down here and to watch him, and I mean, I don't think what he's got now is going to make me talk a lot more from what I've seen than what he's got in North Carolina because he's got something to race with now.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't had to rent it from nobody. He hasn't had nobody else to give it to.
Yes.
He's done it on his own. And that's what I like about him. That's why when I talk to these national people, hey, these sponsorships that we're coming aboard, it's easy for me to brag on it. And let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to help you. Let's help him.
Now, are you doing it? Are you going to do any social media stuff?
No, sir. I don't have Facebook. You don't want me on there. I'm from Guinea. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I've heard of it. I don't know where it's at.
No, I'm thinking about it. But we're going to put some stuff together.
Because, I mean, that's another piece
we're
today.
going to get some stuff together. And if we get some of these national lenders in here, like to come back one night.
No, we would love
No, absolutely.
They can give you their intake. I mean, because for what he's doing, we can help with the late model, some of the trucks, and some of the Arca stuff that we're going to do. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, social media has become such a big thing, and especially these young kids. I mean, they're used to it, but it's important to marketing partners to be tagged in, things and you just don't ever know who sees it.
And it just takes the right time, the right place, the right date, and you're on.
100%.
And if somebody can help you, get you there, you might not never see it.
Mm-hmm.
You're busy at work. He's trying to make a living. I'm trying to make a living. I got a little bit more time to talk. And hey, let's get on this car. Let's put your name up there. Let's sell some of your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's help him. It'll all come full circle.
It's got to be pretty ambitious on your part with all that, and plus your dad's racing too. I mean, basically, you know, you don't see a whole lot of sponsors on your cars. I
It's one big one.
Until now, I mean, until we see this. with
Well,
this
after
stuff
a couple of drinks.
Well, after Friday night and a couple drinks.
Saturday night.
Saturday night and a couple drinks.
Where are we having dinner? It sounds like it might be a good dinner.
It's gonna be a good one.
So I mean that's not pretty ambitious to have all y'all, you know, doing that. And
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be
Basically-
exciting for you.
For sure. I mean, I've never really had anyone. I've had people say they're going to try, and some people have tried to help me, and he's actually helped me already. And I have 100% faith that he'll have plenty of sponsors on that car. There's no doubt.
I mean, if you get your tires paid for, it's better than nothing.
Absolutely.
Oatmeal is better than
Hey.
oatmeal.
That's right.
Hey, free dinner is better than nothing. I mean, that's money. It adds up to money at the end of the day.
We might get him a nice looking fire suit this year with some stuff on it. So,
Nice.
no,
Yeah.
I'm just joking. But we're gonna have
Oh,
some.
it's gonna make you look good and everything.
We're gonna have some stuff on
Got
the car
to.
this year.
You're gonna be walking down pit road just like you somebody now. You just
He
Yeah,
already walks down like that.
try to.
So fake it till you make it, right?
That's right.
So that's pretty cool that you got all that going on, and we appreciate the fact that you're willing to help him and get him out there and get him.
Yeah,
And whatever you do for him is a big help.
It helps for everybody.
Oh, and like I say, I hadn't been down here. I come down here a couple of years ago, and it wasn't what I thought it was. The guy I come down here with, I was going to help. Nice guy, but I met Justin and we got to talking, and I come down here for a race, and you know, like I say, every time he comes
For the
down here,
Hampton Heat. So
Yeah.
that definitely helped me.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
A
come
big
down for
event,
Hampton.
yeah.
The sad part about it was I don't know who done the columns and the for Channel 10 and stuff. From what I seen, he led most of it. From what I can remember up to the last, that Fryer got in.
Mm.
I think Justin, you might have led the most laps in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you know, we've had some car dealerships here that I know, and some other people that, you know, I've invited down here to watch, some friends of mine. But that night, I think he led the most laps in that race. It was hotter than hell here.
They call it the heat for a reason.
That was a miserable race that night.
It was hot, but no, it made me a lot. It made me feel more comfortable in talking to these people that I know what I'm talking about. So you know, you got a tax write off. What you gonna do with it?
Right.
Where you know, you want to invest it and have a bigger one next year. You know, so he's got plenty of room on the car. So we've got 5 or 6 big potential people coming in.
So when you get it all signed up, you come on, bring them on out here. We'll
sit down one night,
bring everybody and we'll do it.
and that'll help their business.
Right. And that's what we mean, you know, announce
When he
it
invited
here.
me here tonight, I was all stoked, you know, just to come, you know, to see it. But
It don't take much to impress him, does it?
well, no. Well, I think it's good of you guys to take your time out to do what you're doing, because you're helping this place, him, and yourselves, and everybody else. I mean, that's what it takes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do it for the fun. We enjoy it. I mean, we've
been doing
this is not
How long have we been doing it? 8 years? Something like that.
at least.
I was a NASCAR fan all my life.
And I am too.
So
But I mean, you know, we do it to kind of help promote everybody else. I mean, and we just do it for fun.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's pretty cool that y'all are doing.
Well, we do it for fun, but it also sort of helps guys like Justin that when you do that truck race, people are going to ask you questions, and at least you get somewhat familiarized with, you know, how that process is going to go, or what to answer and how to answer things. Where, you know, typically in, you know, short track racing, you don't get that experience or that I don't know what the proper word is, but experience in social media and talking to people and being interviewed and those kind of things.
Well, we appreciate you coming out and being a part of this. You can hang around with us for a little while if you want. I mean, it's up to you, however you want to do this. We got another guest getting ready to come on.
Yeah,
but
he's a crew chief. He might be able to give you some pointers on your truck setup. He's been a Cup crew chief, Xfinity crew chief.
but if you ain't got no weak pins, he can't help you.
Right.
All right, let's bring on Racin Jason Houghtaling. However you say his last name.
What's up, Jason?
Not much, guys. How are you?
Good, man. How are
Hey,
you?
man, how's it going?
We're just living life, man. Kind of kind of wore out today. 13 hours at the racetrack yesterday testing at Charlotte, but not too bad.
Well, every time I saw you, you were standing by the car getting pictures taken, so I didn't think you were doing much.
Oh, come on now. You know.
So how did it go?
Everybody wants a picture.
Well, yeah, I don't know why they would want one of you, but anyway, go ahead. But anyway, how did the test go?
Test went very well for us. I tested the MBM Motorsports car. It was definitely with the rule changes and things like that. I felt that I had a little bit of an advantage with that kind of stuff because basically what they've adapted in the Xfinity cars is the 2020 and 21 rear no skew rule. So that means that the toe and the rear end has to be pretty much straight up to pass tech. There is no more like 5/16 to a half-inch out like we used to be able to do in these Xfinity cars. But so I felt that I had a little bit of an advantage with some things that I had got to do in the Cup Series there for 4 or 5 years with those cars with no skew. So we were very successful. We had some great people there. I mean, we actually had some engineering staff there, and it all went well.
You had engineering
Yeah, I
staff.
was going to say.
Yeah, Carl actually hired Keith Montgomery. And he came down, put his data system on the car, and we had a bunch of sensors, even had some load cells in the bump springs, and was able to collect a lot of data. So it was definitely money well invested.
So you did have to go out and get you a laptop to keep up with all that.
I did. No more pen and paper at this level now, guys. It's gone.
You're past all that now, so that's a good thing.
Right.
So who all you got driving for you? I mean, I know you got somebody's coming in Daytona. Who is that?
I got Dexter Stacy coming in from Daytona. He's currently a driver in the Pitney's Canada series.
Mm-hmm.
So he and his family owned an Xfinity team a few years back. I got to work with Dexter some when I was at Copes, and he's coming back for Daytona. Pretty excited. Got a really good car, really good engine. So we're gonna see what we can do.
So I mean, pretty big deal to get somebody already lined up and ready to go. How about the rest of the season? How's everything look for the rest of the season?
Actually, we don't have a lot going on for the rest of the season. We do have stuff, Timmy Hill. We the kid that tested for us yesterday, his name's Mason Maggio. He's done some truck racing stuff, and now he's gonna come on do some Xfinity races. He's a late model racer that's come up through, did 5 or 6 truck races. He was actually driving the truck at Richmond the last time that I seen you guys. And we're going to see what we can do with that. And, we're Carl has kind of backed it down to one full-time car. The second car is only going to run when we have the proper money and stuff like that to run it. So we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. Be able to have one car to be able to focus on that one car, and with the expenses like it is now, that has to be a big help.
Yeah, it's gonna be a huge help, and Carl's really stepped up his program over the past couple of years. He's got some really good cars. We got some help last year from some bigger teams, and it was we actually had a pretty successful year. So we're just trying to build on that. We've a lot of truck arm rules changed. We have to have the truck arms have to be equal length now, no short truck arm on the left side. So we've been working a lot on a pull down rig and all that kind of stuff to get the best that we can be when we get to the racetrack. And it showed yesterday. Our car was definitely fast. We put Timmy in it in the morning and worked on some things, and definitely spent the rest of the afternoon working with Mason on some aero stuff, and we had a really good and positive day.
That's good. I'm glad to see you had a good day and getting ready for Daytona. Everything's ready to go.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. Got some really good cars for the West Coast, and I think we're going to turn some people's heads this year is what I'm hoping.
So, how far ahead are you in your cars right now for the season? I know you've got to have all your West Coast stuff done. I mean,
we're pretty close. The Daytona stuff's the easiest stuff, right? But that's only one race. So, but when we leave for Daytona, you've got to have three primary cars done basically to go to the West Coast, and then on the way back from the West Coast, you're going to Atlanta. So we've got 4 cars pretty much completed right now, ready to go, and we're finishing up the Daytona car this week.
Cool. That's a good deal. Now, what's it? A team like you guys have there with Carl. I mean, it's got to be tough when you have three races out west, and you have to come back and do Atlanta. I mean, that's a heavy toll on your team to do all that.
Yeah, it's pretty taxing, right? You got to think about these team owners, even the big teams, the outlay of money that they have to put forward from Phoenix until they get another paycheck again, right? When we left Phoenix, that was the last paycheck Carl was going to get until he gets one from Daytona when we make the race down there, right? So you have to put out quite an outlay, and that we're already going to be out west before he gets paid again. So it's pretty taxing on them. You gotta really know how to manage your money and stay in front of it. But with all the changes and all the what you want to get and make your cars better, it's kind of it's a pretty taxing thing on these team owners.
Yeah, and do you guys go out and stay out on the West Coast, or do you go back and forth? I mean, what?
Well, for years and years and years, it was easier for us to go out there and stay out there because you had to run 2 different cars. When we would go to Vegas, we'd go to Phoenix, and then we'd go to California. You could take 2 cars. You could take a good 1.5 mile car. You race it at California, service it before you go to Vegas, race it again, and then turn around and do the same. Take your other car and run it at Phoenix, because it has to be a short track car. But now NASCAR has the rule that the car that we run in California has to be the same car that you run in Las Vegas. They actually seal them in your trailer, and you cannot work on the car after California until you get to the racetrack on Thursday afternoon in Las Vegas. So without being able to work on those cars, we would probably have to bring some guys back to make sure that the Atlanta cars and the Coda cars and things like that are finalized. But for a long time, it was easier for a team like Carl and Rick and the smaller teams to just take everybody out west and leave them out there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was, but yeah, it's gonna be tough to have to do that and go back and forth. That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know how you work it out.
Yeah, it's man, the travel industry makes more money than we do in the racing industry, I think.
But look, you as the crew chief, what do you do? Do you stay with the car out west, or do you come back and get the cars ready, or what's your plan of attack?
My plan of attack is probably going to be to come home between California and Vegas and work on pulling down and doing the final setup and the part of the car that I really get lost in sometimes. So I'll come home and I'll do the pull down and work the extra hours to make sure that our cars are set up. Anything that I might have learned at California that could transfer to Atlanta or anything like that. So this is kind of an ever-changing sport. When they have these new rules like this, you got to kind of stay ahead. Sometimes it's easier to get, like, our California car is done and pulled down, but I tried some aero stuff at the racetrack yesterday, so now you got to come home and kind of punt and go back to putting that aero stuff on the car you're going to take to California and Las Vegas and make sure that everything's good. So with these new rule changes and not getting a lot of practice and not being able to test, you really have, it kind of evolves week to week until you get halfway through the season and start coming to these tracks for a second time.
All right, NASCAR made some announcements today about some things. I'm gonna get your opinion on some of them. You can play the company line or whatever you want to do, but anyway, tell us about the rain tires on these ovals. How do you feel about that? And
I don't know what to say or how to say it. One thing that I do feel, and it's only this is only my feeling, is it is the same rain tire that we're going to run on, that we've been running on the road courses, that we're going to run on the ovals. So it's going to be pretty tough. I really think that it's going to be pretty tough, but that makes me wonder how committed we are to running these things in the rain. right? Because we all know that you can go out in the rain on them rain tires and they go pretty good. But as soon as the racetrack starts to dry up at all, you eat them tires up and slicks go way faster. So I don't really know how committed they are to running these things in the rain or what the criteria is going to be. So it's going to be something to look forward to and try to understand. I do know that 14 times this year when my race car leaves the shop, it's going to have mud flaps, a defroster, windshield wiper, and rear lights in it. So that's going to be a little weird to take those cars, even when you run them on the dry at Martinsville or anywhere, and have those mud flaps on them and stuff like that. So it's going to be challenging to say the least.
Yeah, I can see that. How about the other new thing they got with you can't do the run the rails like Ross Chastain did last year at Martinsville. How about that?
Listen, guys, I read that rule. I read the email that came out from NASCAR about that rule. But let's just go with that rule has been in the rule book forever, and it's still, even if you read that thing, it's still up to a judgment call from NASCAR, right? Mm-hmm. So I applaud Ross for doing what he had to do. I mean, I got to work with Ross when he was at Spire and Jay Robinson's early in his career, and I know what he went through at Johnny Davis's, and I know what happened to him with Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch and those guys at Darlington when he finally did get a ride that he could run with them. I applaud him for doing what he had to do to show those guys that he belongs there. Was it safe, unsafe? I don't want to get into that debate. I don't really think it's a rabbit hole that any of us should go down. But, NASCAR, it's still a judgment call at the end of the day.
How about the choose rule at Daytona and Talladega for the – how do you feel about that?
Well, to be honest with you, it'll be interesting to see. I think it could be an advantage because maybe you can line up behind a teammate or whatever, right? But it could be a disadvantage if the wrong guy wants to break two guys up or whatever, he can do it, right?
Yeah, I agree with it. Anyway, that's pretty interesting that they made those calls, made those changes, and I think that one thing we were talking with Justin about this a few minutes ago. The rain tires, you're gonna have to buy a set of rain tires every week, just about.
Yep. Just
in case. How much of an difference in expense is that going to be for you guys?
Well, I think that it's the rain tires are no cheaper than the slicks, right? And I think right now a set of tires is $2,640 for one of these things. So if you think if you got to have one, and as quick as they're going to go away, I think your minimum going to have to buy two of them or three of them to see what happens. So it's going to be an added expense. Sometimes I think it's going to be a pretty decent expense. Now, one thing that's usually good about NASCAR is as long as you store those tires with NASCAR or in NASCAR's control through Champion or through Goodyear, they don't consider them bring from home, so you can race them. So you're going to have them at every short track, but if you don't use them, you'll be able to take them to the next short track and use them again as long as they stay in NASCAR's control or possession.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Jason, I appreciate you spending some time with us tonight and giving us an update on what you got going on. Hopefully, we're going to see you sometime real soon.
I hope so, guys. I look forward to it.
Yeah, we do too. We can't, and I just, I'm going to take some pictures of you with a computer. I just,
yeah,
it's hard for you guys to believe, but I'm learning. You
still carry your pen and pencil with you, though, I'm sure.
I'm never going to leave home without it.
All right, Jason. We'll talk to you again real soon, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you.
All right, man. See you later. Thanks a lot.
Y'all done with me?
That's up to you.
Unless y'all want to continue talking.
Thanks, Justin.
Mason, I'll see you later, brother.
Hey, nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you. Thank you for coming out. And whenever you get things going, and
you got a pen?
get them drinks this weekend.
Y'all know all the numbers, right? I showed Justin this one. To cover it on your pizza
Yeah.
box. You know whose birthday that was, right? He was a famous NASCAR driver.
4/29/51.
It was Dale Earnhardt.
I was
Oh.
say that.
The only reason I can remember it, my mama was born April 30th, 1950. But the fourth race of the year when Earnhardt died, instead of 3, they bought a car 29 in Atlanta. He started 5th and finished 1st.
That's pretty cool.
It's not made up as a fact.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I like that.
So this year on Earnhardt Day, you can tell everybody on your
I'm gonna
podcast.
try to remember that.
Y'all have a blessed night.
So you too. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. See you, man.
All right, let's bring the kid on here, Leland Honeyman Jr.
The little shit. He ain't a little shit no more.
Hey, you're a big fella now. I ain't gonna talk much trash to you now. So
Look at, he's got his jacket on, his Xfinity jacket,
Hey man, congratulations, getting a little bit of a
a break
a
there.
break there, getting you a ride and everything. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. How you guys doing?
We're good, but I go back to those days. That day when we saw you down in Charlotte.
How old were you then?
Yeah, how old were you?
Like 12, 13?
I don't know if you was. I didn't know you was that old. But
Yeah.
anyway, I thought you were younger than that. But you may have been 12 or 13. But I'm just gonna tell you like it is. You was a little shit that day, and
Probably.
Left an
Sounds about right.
impression though.
yeah, but you left
That's
an
about right.
impression on us, and it's really we get excited to see guys like you have success and move along, and that's a
I
big
really
deal. So
appreciate
we've been in touch for a long time, so
Mhm.
that's really cool to see.
Yeah, of course.
Tell us all about what you got going on for 2023, man. I know you got more than just a little bit.
Yep. So right now, we have 7 races locked in, and we're debuting at Phoenix, and I haven't really announced that yet, but I'll tell you guys here first. So whoever's watching and listening, you guys heard it here first. So we're gonna debut at Phoenix, and then following that, we're gonna be at Richmond and Martinsville, and so we got a couple races on the schedule, and hopefully to add more this year. So yeah.
Well, I can't wait because we'll probably be at Richmond and Martinsville. We want to see you when you're out there racing. So that's a pretty big deal for us.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to see you guys there, with me being in Xfinity, and when I met you guys, I was, when I said 13, I don't know what time you guys were talking about because I've seen you guys multiple times in Charlotte. So
Well, this was the first time down at that Harley Davidson place when you were with your dad.
I think I was 11.
Yeah, you were. I
Yeah.
thought you were a little younger than what you said.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
you come and told me.
I think y'all had just not long moved to Charlotte. Because you're
Yeah.
from Phoenix, right? Ain't you guys from Phoenix?
Yeah, we moved to Mooresville in 2015, but we've been coming here for like 3 years before that, which was 13. So we've been coming here for a while.
Yeah, and you made a little comment and made a little joke, and then looked at me and said, "Well, you'll get it in a little bit when you figure it out."
Well, Scott was saying, that he's won a couple races, so
That's one what?
he's won a couple races,
That's
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a couple more than Jack.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so start with me, Leland. Now, Scott won one race in a champ kart. He won a champ kart race, and he won a
Some arena racing.
arena race. Okay, arena race. So we don't count those right now because
It doesn't benefit Jack, so they're disqualified.
when you get in your race car, do you know the difference between the pedals?
Yes, obviously.
Okay. Well, whenever you see Scott, explain it to him. Okay.
Your gas pedals on the right, okay, and right in the middle you have your brake, and then your brake slows you down, and then your clutch pedals on the left.
Well, see, now Scott got that all confused.
Yep.
He finally he had a Pro 6 car, and he finally got on the outside of the front row on a qualifying, and they dropped the green
Right.
flag, and Scott hit the wrong pedal, and
Oh,
everybody in the
man.
field went around him.
Not
Really?
everybody. I was still running third by the time we got to 1 and 2.
Hey, that's so good though. Good
Yeah.
recovery.
They won't with 4 cars in the race, but anyway.
Oh, hey, he's still beating the guy in fourth, right?
Right. Hey,
Well,
there's no Astro beside your name
you know-
at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Everybody voted for him for her driver of the week, because he done so well. But when you finish 5th out of 4 cars, that's not a driver of the week.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna-
You'll have those days, your ups and downs, but I'm sure he got through it and came out with a couple wins that year.
Hey, Leland, one of the things that was really, really fun for me when I was covering the Arca thing, I'm looking at the Arca stuff that you were doing last week when you did the Arca test.
Yep.
You and Garrett Zacharias and Jake Finch were out there doing an Arca test, and I remember all 3 of you guys when you were small. I mean,
Really?
smaller. And it was
Yeah.
really cool to see you and Garrett running. I think he was running right behind you for a little while at the test. And I thought that was really cool. And then I know he's behind Jake for a little while, but it's really cool to see because Jake, when he was a little fella, he was a little nuisance, kind of like you.
Yeah.
I bet he was worse.
He probably was a little worse, but anyway. But it was really cool for me to see you guys out there doing that. I think it's, I think you've done really well. I'm not kin to you. I'm not anything, but I'm proud of you, just like they would be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So what was the Daytona test like?
Going there, it was fun. I was on the Road to Daytona program, so there's a couple drivers, Lane Riggs, Jake Drew. I was there with Jake on Friday, and we ran the car. He ran it first before me, and it was a new car, and we were getting it all dialed in and ready and whatnot. And I wasn't when I first went out. They had me run the low line, and then came back in, talked about it, and then I went up and ran the high line, and then ran the middle a couple times, and just being there and running 4 laps felt like it was an hour long. So it was like he's like, all right, 6th lap, and I'm like 6th lap. I'm like, it feels like an hour's gone by, but you think about it, and it's like you're going. I think we were going like 174. I think I think I hit 174 because I wasn't able to draft that day. So I wasn't able to draft, so I wasn't able to get like a super quick time, but it was all about the learning experience. So I was just happy to be there and running around Daytona.
The straightaways are long, ain't they?
Yeah, they're pretty long. Yes.
It's like, man, I gotta wait like 15 seconds before I get to the next corner.
The biggest thing was like keeping it on the line because when you don't want to put too much wheel into it, and when you're doing that, it's like you're like, oh man, keep it on the line, but I don't want to go over the line, and then it's like you're so focused on the line the whole time that's what you're focused on. It's just like I feel like it kind of takes everything out of it, and I looked over at the fence a few times, see how fast we're going by, but I mean, shoot, we were at Dover this year, and I think we hit like 178, which was faster than Daytona. So I'm like, it don't matter, I guess. So, we're faster at Dover than we were Daytona, which was pretty cool.
So what did your dad think about all this? You getting this stuff, this opportunity to do some Xfinity racing and stuff like that? What do you think, Dad? How your dad feel about it?
I'm sure he's watching this right now. So he's right below me right here. So he I'm sure he's super happy that I'm racing for Alpha Prime this year, and just the opportunity to be able to race in the Xfinity series is really, really amazing. And a lot of people dream about this, and not a lot of people get the opportunity to race in Xfinity. So I'm gonna soak it up, and I'm really happy and blessed that I'm able to be racing in this series.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're really excited for you. I mean, Scott and I, with everything going on, it's really cool to see you doing some racing like that. And hopefully we'll be able to see you at Richmond and Martinsville and some of those places.
Yeah, of course. Yep. What do you guys? Where do you guys like hang out? Do you guys have like a certain place you hang out there, or you guys just kind of all over the place?
We go hang out in the media center some, and then we hang out around the racetrack with everybody else.
Okay.
So we're gonna find you. Don't you worry. We're gonna find
Yeah. That's right. Number 45. Can't miss it.
you. And we're going. I know your dad's gonna be there, and we're gonna have to hang out with him for a little bit. So that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
So are you running
Yep.
anything else, or are you just concentrating on these Xfinity races?
I had, I could have had the opportunity to race some truck stuff, but I, going to Phoenix, we're gonna do the Xfinity race, and maybe we'll add like an ARCA race or something to the schedule just to get me like some seat time at a road course, and just for some experience, because I haven't ran a full size stock car at a road course, so it'd be pretty cool to run like an ARCA car around Watkins Glen or Sonoma, and just having that experience before I hop in the Xfinity car is going to be one in a lifetime opportunity just to be doing both that weekend. I think it's pretty cool, just kind of like how I did the ARCA in the truck deal at Bristol. It'd be pretty cool to run both of them.
So are you going to try to do any like VIR stuff to try to get familiar with maybe some road course stuff?
I have a buddy that races some IMSA stuff, and he just got a TA2 car recently, and he's like, you got to come out to VIR and come run with us, and he's like, you always have the opportunity to come run if you want to, and I'm like, all right, maybe I'll think about it and come run there and whatnot. But I've ran a lot on the iRacing at VIR, so yeah.
Now, going back to the sim racing stuff, will you go race those races in the simulation before you go to those tracks? And how much do you think that helps or hurts you?
Yeah, I really think I actually
a rig behind you.
Yeah, I recently got it upgraded, so I got like the Willwood pedals and the direct drive wheelbase and whatnot. So it's what I had before is like night and day. So I had like a couple $100 setup to a couple thousand, which is it's really cool, and you definitely notice like every little detail when you move up like that. So when I get on iRacing and run like say Phoenix for the first time in an Xfinity car, and I go back and I run ARCA and at Dover, and it's like I feel the similarities, but at the same time it's not fully there. But iRacing is definitely a big help when it comes to road courses, just because going to a track you're not familiar with, it definitely helps. So going to like Phoenix and running laps there as much as you can definitely helps. Not too much can never not help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So running it as much as I can is.
Yeah, I'm sure it gets you familiar with the racetrack, or maybe where you're lifting at, some familiar, getting the idea where you're lifting and kind of getting back in the gas. So I'm sure it can get you close.
Yep. Yeah, of course, and it never. It doesn't hurt to keep running. So that's what I've been doing here recently, and getting ready for Phoenix.
Well, I can't wait till Phoenix gets here. We'll see you when you get to Richmond and Martinsville. And Leland, congratulations, man.
Yeah, man.
And thank you for spending time with us. Tell your dad we said hi.
Yeah, of course.
I know you'll see Andrea somewhere along the line, I'm sure, or talk to her. So we said hi, and
I will.
maybe she'll probably show up at those races too, probably. So I don't know.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, I don't know. She might be there, but yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on tonight.
Well, we appreciate it, and we're happy for you and happy for your success that you've got going on. So good luck to you, and
keep it up.
We'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
All right, see you guys.
Appreciate it,
Thanks,
man.
buddy.
See you.
That's really cool. All those years that we've got involved.
I mean, who would have thought?
I know. I would have never. I'll be honest with you. I didn't know, but we knew him back in the days, but I didn't know if he was that was his thing, but evidently
Well,
it
yeah.
is.
Well, you remember even a few years after that when we went to what's the event they have down there, and he had his was it a limited he was running or a baby grant? When they running the baby?
I don't know if it's something. I forget what it was now.
Then and he had the car there and that kind of stuff, and to doing some Xfinity, and then you put in that same category of Rajay when we run into him as a fan essentially wanting to get into NASCAR and now he's got a full-time truck ride.
We've been very fortunate to be in this position we're in, and I don't take it lightly, but to be able to be around.
We get to be friends with Mason.
Well, that's everybody has their crosses to bear, but I'm talking about with Rajay and Leland and Garrett Zacharias and me with Jake Finch and even Casey Roderick. Casey Roderick was a young guy when I first met him. He was just getting started with Finch as far as he was doing some Arca stuff with Finch.
And I'm surprised, didn't he? Who did he have those? It was with Dale Jr. Who was that? He had a couple of Xfinity rides with and ran really well.
I forget now. No, it was with when it was Ganassi's. No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was Ganassi.
I don't remember.
But I think he qualified 4th or 5th.
But he always, he's always been pretty good wheelman. And but I remember when he was a little guy, we were down in Daytona, and we all stayed in the same little condo down in Daytona, and he was a little shit there too. So anyway,
Eddie said they'd find us where the food's at, and that's true. And then Joe said we'll be over there by the hot dog shack.
Well, there's 3. We do. Well, I do when we're at Martinsville. I do hit the hot dog shack, at least a couple of hot dogs anyway. But we go to Richmond. We go in the media center, and if they have something good, we'll stay there. If it don't have nothing good, we go see Andrew.
Andrew's always got good food.
Andrew's got us covered.
Andrew or what's the other guy?
Robert Van Norman with the old.
Yeah, I
can't remember the name of it now either. But anyway,
and then we also I gotta hit what's his name up the chef for Trackhouse. He's quite a character. We always pick with him. He's always I think he was cooking at Dover. He was fixing damn tomahawk steaks for the team. I was like, God dang, I had to switch chefs here, Andrew.
Yeah, we need to get Andrew to make sure when he comes to Richmond or somewhere he brings out the good stuff for us anyway. Okay, that's our show for tonight, man. We really appreciate everybody being with us. We even had Mason Dunn here with us, the fact checker. And glad
avoiding working on a dryer.
And I'm not going down the elevator.
No,
not going back down the elevator. That's
you want to
done.
thank Chuck Hall for coming.
Thank Chuck for coming out here and getting me off that elevator.
If y'all don't know, Jack got stuck in the elevator the day before the show.
Yeah, I sure did.
He was this close from calling 911, but he called Chuck, and Chuck took a few minutes, and he come.
I didn't almost call 911. I didn't almost call 911.
They hung up on him.
Matter of fact, I didn't even have my phone.
How'd you get on to Chuck?
The thing in the elevator, you have a thing in there. You push the button and it rings, and it goes straight to Chuck.
I didn't know that. Oh, you left that part of the detail out, Jack.
Hey,
I hit the emergency button.
I hit that button, and it come back and it said emergency in Langley. In the Langley elevator, emergency in the Langley elevator. And I think, oh, ain't nobody gonna pay no attention to this. I'm gonna be stuck on here. And by that time, Chuck answered it. And he's telling me, do this, do that. And I'm thinking, what the hell is this dude? Because I didn't know it was Chuck. I'm thinking, he's telling me.
You didn't recognize his name?
No, you couldn't because it was distorted on the thing in there. And I said, and then he finally said, is this Jack? I said, yeah. He said, well, this is Chuck. I said, well, okay, I'm good then.
Can you just send the ambulance to the fire department?
But he showed up, got me out, and you won't see me on until it's fixed. I know that.
Well, he turned it off down there, so we got to walk down.
So anyway, all right. that's our show for this week. Next week's show, we're going to have Boo Carlisle.
Who the hell is Boo Carlisle?
You don't know who Boo
That's
Carlisle
rude.
No.
He's a what, limited and late model driver from,
Street stock.
well, he's run some limited and late model stuff too.
I've only ever seen one street stock. He's worked on a late model.
Okay, well, maybe that's what it was. But anyway, Bradley Housewright from Kingsport is going to be with us next week. And Bill Mullis is going to be here next week.
Mm.
So whatever,
Right.
Bill's got some information he wants to pass on. So we'll be here to listen to whatever he's got to pass on. And,
Some-
You want to
something's
tell the man
coming.
happy birthday?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
today's
happy
his
birthday.
birthday.
I
I forgot
told
about.
him
I seen it. Yeah.
I was going to play Hail to the Chief, but I did forgot all about that. I got locked on the elevator and I didn't feel like doing Hail with the Chief.
he got crazy since then.
Yeah, I won't thinking about stuff like that after I got off the elevator.
Did you get that to kiss the ground or anything?
No. Matter of fact, I don't know what
So
Chuck.
was he scared? You could have made something up. You could have said, "Oh yeah, he was." That would have been much better.
No, but the thing about it was, Chuck hit the door. Boom, boom, boom. He called my name out. He said, and I answered him back. He said, "Oh, you're not down here," because he evidently was down there. So he beating on the door. Well, about that time, I felt the elevator shift a little bit, and then he went, and it let me out. And he's down there trying to get me. And he looked up. He said, "Oh, you're out." I said, "Yeah."
Oh, I didn't know.
That was my experience for today.
I didn't know it went to Chuck's phone. So if you ever need to get a hold of Chuck, just go to the elevator, hit the emergency button there. Chuck.
Yeah, it rang 2 times and went straight to Chuck. That was weird. I'm only expecting him.
That's funny.
All right, we'll see you next week. Talk to you
Okay.
then.